Saludos y bienvenidos a todos to the PGP podcast. Hey, everybody, Father's Day, Feliz, Día del Padre a todos. Little bit late talking to Moreno there. Hey, you know what? Josh Tobar, principal of Memorial Pathway Academy in Garland, ISD. Garland, USA, ready for episode one. Father's Day edition. All things, papa, todo. Did you write him a card? Did you save him the big piece of chicken? We're inquiring minds want to know. So please make sure you take care of them. Pops out there, thank you for being here. Appreciate you for locking in. If you're not seeing us right now, are you going to check us out on the rebroadcast side? No, this is the type of the time where people are taking their husbands, dads, whatever you might be, out to lunch, out to dinner. So if you're checking us out on the rebroadcast, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Going to check us out live. Thank you very much. Also, we have Dr. Moreno, myself right now, 63 years of experience, guys. 63 years of soon to be 64 as I start off my 34th year in education. So don't forget to like and share the show whenever you do come up live. Like and share the show. Thank you very much. I would like to request a Father's Day gift. We received 3 new followers on YouTube. Give me 2 more. Give me 2 more by the end of this podcast. Give me 260 followers. So if you're not following us on YouTube, say, hey, Toar, happy Father's Day. 2 new followers. So go to follow and click on the little bell so you can make sure that you get all of this content, because you know what? This is legit. We have 110 shows. The majority of them are all with guests, superintendents, community members, mayors, principals, everything. We have the whole gamut on this show because education is not a niche. It's not just teaching. It's everything that goes around teaching. And we try to bring you, Moreno and I try to bring you all of the aspects of public education. And even charter schools, you know what? They still take care of kids, whatever your belief is or not belief on charter schools. They still educate the future of America. And you know what? These nuggets are for them also. Remember that we are part of the Fantastic Four family that you can watch every single last Saturday, starting at 10 o'clock Eastern on Facebook. Facebook Live, the best way that's universal for most people. 10 o'clock, Sean Hurt. You want to know about data? You want to know? You got the scores. I know you got the scores already. You got the scores. You want to increment that? Call Sean Hurt, and he'll tell you about Mr. and Mrs. Potato Plant. You don't want them on your campus. You'll talk to you about that. If you need to raise your culture and climate, you could talk to at 10:30. Dr. Shika Houston and Dr. Tammy Taylor, because they raised their respective campuses 2 and 3 letter grades in 1 year. 1 year. That's not easy to do, guys. Let me tell you, sitting in the chair, there are a lot of people, and you know what? There are people that say, oh man, I'm at a low performing school. There's no way it could go any further down. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. So you don't want it to go down, call Shika, call Tammy. They'll square you away. They've got tons of PD just for you. I know you already created your budget. I know you got to take it into the crate. And I know as you're doing that, and I'm using terms for Texas. I don't know what it's called in Illinois or Iowa, Nebraska. But once you get that Title I money, call them and set them up to bring them to your campus for PD. And if you're doing that, hey, El Jefe, Principal Cafele, 11 o'clock a.m. He had part 2 of superintendents this past Saturday, so check him out. Bring Jefe to your campus, to your district, because you know what? He's not faking the funk. His nose will not grow. So please make sure that you like and share the show. Make sure you like and share the show. And I'm looking for APs. I'm already booking September. We need an AP roundtable. So you haven't been on the show before? Come on over. We need your experience. Come on over. I want to hear from you. Everyone wants to hear from you, and I want to hear right now from the Spiders in Houston. Moreno, ¿cómo estás?
Hey, Josh. Well, before I forget, happy Father's Day to you, sir. I know you are celebrating there at your home and enjoying yourself. So awesome. And the weather is finally better. My goodness, it's been terrible. I know in Houston, it's been terrible. So again, kudos to you. It's your day. Celebrate. As far as me, I'm here with my spiders and getting ready. I have 7 days before I leave to Tanzania. Really, really busy time for me right now, but excited. I'm heading to South Texas. So I will be, no, actually, I will be here in Houston for my last podcast with you before I head out. So I won't be in South Texas. I'm short trip going down there, doing some work down there, and coming back. And one more podcast with you, sir, and then I take a little 3 week vacation while I go and take care of the lions and tackle the elephants.
Oh my lord, oh my lord. Kenyelle Sessions in the house, OKC, our cheerleader, Dot McKeever Jeter, who got her cap already. Loved it. And you know what I like about, we hardly have one-on-one shows, Moreno.
Yeah.
No, we know we hardly have them, and it's more relaxing for me because I'm doing all this stuff in the background. I'm sharing it on the different platforms, so I like this more relaxed kind of thing. Dot McKeever Cheater sending out the love for all the shows, and Dr. Joe Griffin also, she likes supporting him on Saturdays. Let's see what Kenyelle. There we go, sending out each other love. And so let's get started right now, Moreno, as to all things Father. But we get into that. Remember, Chinchilagua moment, the Chinchilagua moment. And remember, that's a Hispanic game where it's kind of like a human pyramid. And you yell, Chinchilagua y arriba boy. And you go running and you jump on top of somebody, jump on top of somebody, jump on top of somebody. And it's a human period. And then it's all fun and games until it comes crashing down. Well, what's my Chinchilagua moment today? On Father's Day. And thank you very much for the love there, Kenya. Appreciate you on Father's Day and Dot. It's this. Look, whether you want to agree or not agree, it's part of education. And if you don't know and you are going into education, during this time, during May, late April, administrators start to be told you will not be at that school next year.
Mm-hmm.
Da Costa Ajito out of Ghana. Welcome, brother. Your neighbor. I don't know how far is Ghana from Tanzania. Do you all know? Very
It's
far.
on the other side of Africa.
Okay, then bro, you're not gonna visit each other. You're not gonna take an Uber. I was gonna say take an Uber.
No, but we need to get together because I want to go to Ghana probably next year.
There you go. And so you already received the call. Either HR went to your campus, either you were met by your area superintendent, whatever the next level above a principal. Every district has their own version of it. And they were, whether you agreed or not, you're going to go to a new campus. And a lot of times, I don't know if you agree with me, Moreno, those moves can be political. A lot of those moves are because of whatever is seemed as lack of effort a lot of times, or whatever you money also, yeah. And so there's a lot of stuff out there that you're going to go to a new campus. I can only share to you that my experiences with that have been people that have not been on the good side of the previous principal. And so before, the way it works, I don't know about you, Moreno, if you had to deal with this, and I want to know about thank you, Da Costa. Appreciate it. Happy Father's to you. You're a father. Thank you for the blessings. What HR does, or your immediate supervisors, they tell you, hey, Josh, we want you to take on so and so. That's been my experience. And they say, we're gonna bring so and so to your school because we think that you could handle them. And I'm like, oh, so I don't get to hire somebody? No, you don't get to hire somebody, because normally that creates because of a vacancy. And so Constance Sherrard, hello, thank you for being here. Constant follower. She's almost at the level of Dot McKeever Jeter. Thank you, Constance, for sharing on LinkedIn. Always love it. And so they tell you, and as the receiving principal, they'll give you the heads up. Hey, we're thinking this is coming down your way. And so I've had situations where I've had to, also at teachers, when they say we have to move this teacher from this campus to your campus because you have an opening. And more often than not, a lot of times have not been because they've been, I'm faking the funk right now, not very successful or positive in their previous campus. And so My advice to you is this: whatever your experience is on the previous campus, leave it there.
Mhm.
Uh, some people get moved because they were almost or they wanted to become the principal there. And they knew that if they stayed at that campus, there might be friction because whether we agree or not, and I'm pretty sure people are aware of this, sometimes there's cliques
Mhm.
with administrators, with assistant principals. And if they leave you at that campus, it will create a negative click against the new principal. And no one wants that. We hired you as the principal to establish your vision for that campus.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so my
Mhm.
advice to you is this: look, let it go. Rent the movie Frozen, sing the song 5,000 times. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I think that's the movie. I'm not. I don't know the very Father's Day. I don't know if that's is it Frozen. Is it Frozen? Let it go. I think
Yeah,
so.
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right. But you can't bring that animosity against the
Mhm.
superiors. You can't bring that animosity against your new work environment.
Mhm.
Start
Mhm.
new. Be positive. Bring your positive attributes to the new campus. No one is guaranteed. A assistant principal, remember, my rule number one, I tell all the assistant principals I've led, rule number one for me, you're there to assist me in
Mhm.
my vision. You're there to assist the principal because when you become a principal, you're going to want your assistant principals to assist you with
You.
your vision for
Mhm.
that campus.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you can't have, oh, I would have done it different. I've heard that before. I've heard that assistant principals say that. I would have never done that. I'm not going to listen to what they say. Remember, what goes around comes around. I'm telling you, I've seen it in 33 years. So
Mhm.
make sure that on your behalf, whatever you're doing, make sure that you, my friend, take this opportunity to turn the page and become a better version of yourself and bring your positive attitude and bring not only your knowledge and your experiences, because a lot of these people do have experience, but
Mhm.
they use their experience not for good. And
Mhm.
so use that experience as an opportunity to grow from it. You're still going to get paid the same.
Mhm.
You're not losing money because more often than not, it's a lateral move.
Yeah.
And so take advantage of this opportunity to learn from new leadership, a new style, a new campus culture, because I know right now a lot of you are going through that. I know right now, I know for a fact personally from people that are in my sphere in two cities that have been moved and they're not happy. But take this opportunity to make it yours. And from that point on, prove people wrong. Prove them that you can be an asset to that campus and that you will take this new opportunity to help the new principal and help them with their vision. What do you think about that, Moreno?
Josh, you're giving me chills there for a second because you're absolutely right. You know, I was a principal for 20 years and an assistant principal for another seven. So 27 years in administration. Yeah, I came across as a principal, especially because those are the conversations that we have to, and the issues we have to deal with is teachers being placed on your campus because you do have a vacancy. And sometimes I was like, I don't need any vacancies because I don't need any of that. But in the long run, I mean, when you're an experienced principal and you're successful, most people want to place others on your campus because you are successful and you're going to either get them straight or get them out, one of the two, right? And so I just thinking about there's two people that I can think of specifically that they wanted to come to my office and they would say, well, in my other campus, blah blah blah, and I'm like, you can't do that, and I would stop them and I would say, please, I said, let's just start over, please start over. What happened over there in its different environment? I mean, I work completely different. So all of the things you just said, absolutely. And you know what? I can tell you there was a handful. It wasn't many that it was just the environment that they were in at their previous school that they couldn't grow or the principal was too whatever the situation was that they actually thrived. One of them actually became teacher of the year, you know and they were placed on my campus, but I gave them the leverage to do what they needed to do. But others, you're right, they come and they don't want to let anything go. And I just agree with you in so many ways that, please, for whatever reason, whether they moved you for political reasons. I know a good friend of mine, excellent assistant principal, and for whatever reason, because of political stuff, she got moved to, I would say, a pretty good school. So she's going from a great school to another great school. So I tell her, I said, girl, just go with the flow. It's okay. I think she needs 5 more years to retire, and she's gonna go with the flow. But do your best, work your best, and remember, you're there for the kids.
Yes, and as long as you do that, you stick to it, what you're doing, that's in the best interest of kids, and you're being a champion, as Rita says, Rita
Mm-hmm.
Pearson in her TED talk. It's very important that you'll be always found true. And so, brand new principal out there, just know that when you do shine, people are going to believe in you that you can turn it around. And you know what? I've had both, Moreno, just like you. I've had people in all my years, and as structured and as focused as I am with what I have to do, I've only been grieved twice. Twice.
Mm,
And trust me, that's a lot of evaluations I've done. That's a
yeah.
lot of interactions. I've done thousands upon thousands. And then one of my two grievances was from the two people that got moved to my campus.
Mm.
And so
Yeah, they were
because
already
they,
unhappy.
yeah, exactly. And so you can't coach someone who doesn't want to be in the right mindset. So
So don't want
anybody
to be coached.
or what
Mhm,
doesn't want to be coached, exactly,
mhm,
and that's
mhm.
fine. I mean, you know what? I don't wish him ill. I'm a strong believer in my Lord Jesus Christ, who died on the cross for me, and His blood has cleansed me and my family of our sins. And you know what? They have their own demons to fight, and if, whatever that is, just consider that as you go on
Mhm.
into your new adventure this year. So that's my advice for everybody out there. And I don't want to be Debbie Downer, because I'm pretty sure that no one, no, but it's a reality, Moreno.
Yes.
This is a reality. And
Mhm.
no, Sir Giovanni don't talk about this. Marzano don't talk about this.
Yeah.
None of this is out there. You experience it hands on. You experience it. You're welcome, Dot, for the hat. You look great on the pictures. Um, you experience this, and a lot of times, because you are successful, it also happens to administrators. You know how they say, "Oh, when you're a good teacher, they always give you the problem kids." It don't change with administration.
Correct.
It doesn't change with administrators, because a lot of
Yeah.
times, and you know what? It's a tongue in cheek, jokingly, people say, "Oh, we're gonna give you a gift." When you hear that from HR, the HR director, more often than not,
It's
it's
like a
not a
bomb.
gift. And I'm letting you know, because these are the kind of things that you learn the hard way. And
Yeah.
this is a kind of show that I'm always honest with people the best that I
Hmm.
can. But enough of that. Our recommendations for the shows, I'm writing down who's making comments. See who's going to win the cap, for because today someone's going to win. I'm gonna.
Oh.
I recommend that you guys listen to our last week's show. 5 different organizations that you could join. 5 different
Yes.
organizations. Check them out. Check out last week's show. Please make sure, give me 2 more followers to 260. And then also episode 100 and 105. We were making tamales. Things that make you go, 2 more
Hmm.
shows where Mari and I are just talking. I'm not rushing through everything, making sure the links are working. If y'all don't know, these shows have a lot of loose ends. There's a lot of things going on in the background, people texting you, emailing you, just so you can see the final product here. And you know what? If you like someone's podcast, let them know, because there's a lot of work that goes. Not only that, but there's like a lot of financial stuff that we need to put out there.
Correct.
Just putting on the stream here, and the shirts and the caps, all that. There is no, we're not Joe Rogan. We're not all these big podcasts that have sponsors. So send some shout outs, send some love, but most importantly for us, just do the follows, please. Follow us so that the algorithm grows for all of these experiences. Like I said, we're already booked up until September, with people nonstop guests coming in. We've got a panel of lawyers, educational lawyers. We have a
Yeah.
parent roundtable. We haven't had any parents. Oh Lord, what is that gonna happen? I'm sorry. I
That's
try to
gonna
avoid
be
cheerleading
fun.
mom. I try to avoid cheerleading moms. But we're looking for parents to come
Just
in.
one cheerleading mom. That's all I need. Just one.
Ay, Dios mío. No, she's a base. Todd Feldman, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. So we're gonna get started with all things Papa.
I have the parent. I'm gonna nominate a parent.
Okay, all right. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know.
It's the
Oh Lord,
cheerleading mom.
it's scaring me. It's scaring me. So just so you know, Moreno, after I'm done with the show, I'm driving to Austin. I should be there by 10 o'clock, 10:30, because I'm presenting tomorrow at Dallas. So if there's anyone on
What?
Dallas right now checking this out, please make sure you like and share the show. So we're gonna start off with, look, guys, just like on the when we did a Mother's Day show, it was I know not all of us have we're making tamales, not all of us have moms. Like my mom has passed. And it
My
can be a
mom
touchy
too.
feeling kind of situation. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, and Thanksgiving can be very sentimental for people, especially like me. I
Mhm.
don't have my parents and stuff, but let's
Me
make sure
neither.
that we always shine the positive that is within our parents. And a lot of times we might not have had a great, I didn't have a great connection with my mom and my dad. I didn't, but you know what? They taught me so much. And without um, with whatever they brought, what they had, it, I took in the positive of it and I try not to do what affected me as a child with my sons. So it was great lessons, both good and not good. So that whenever we do these shows, I know that it can be kind of touchy for some people. I understand that because sometimes when we say to our students, our scholars, Merry Christmas, Happy Mother's Day, some of our EB kids don't have their moms here in the country.
Mhm.
Some of their parents just had them and took off. And so we understand that that's one of those things that we forget in education to take
Mhm.
into consideration because not
Mhm.
everyone considers it a happy holiday. But let's have the glass half full for this rest of the session. So Moreno, I'm going to start off with you. Definitely looking for
I'm the only one, so
it's
yes,
just
we
you, dude.
start with me.
Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Todd. Thank you for being here. So, hey, Moreno, let's we only have like 5 6 questions. Tell me the best memory you had about your dad, and everybody out there also share it. Remember, the person that shares the most gets a cap, unless you already won.
Wow.
You're not gonna get 2 caps.
Ah, Josh, come on.
No, no,
They
no,
can regift it.
no, 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 no. Moreno, tell what's a good memory about your papa?
Oh, my daddy. My father passed away when I was 10. So, he was only 42 years old. He died very young. He had a heart attack. So, I remember him when I was a baby. I mean, I was, like I said, 10 years old. And I remember, I lived in Chicago, Josh. Okay. So, and I probably shouldn't say this because I probably have the fire department outside my door right now because this is what I remember my dad. My dad was, I think this is where I get my humbleness and how I want to give everything. I don't know if you ever see me and people who know me out there, you tell me, "Oh, I like your necklace." I'm taking it off and I'm giving it to you, right? That's my dad. I remember my dad. It was very hot sometimes in Chicago, and we lived right on 18th Street, west side of Chicago. And we lived right outside. There was a fire hydrant in front of our house. And so my dad had the key to open it. Don't ask me how he had the key, but he had the key to open the fire hydrant. So he would open the fire hydrant for us and we would play in the water in this busy street. It was hilarious. And we would play a lot, and a lot of the other kids would come over, and then of course the fire department would come and shut it off and like start looking for like who was the person. There was no Facebook back then. There was no cameras. There was none of that. So no one could ever tell these people who opened it. But I remember that there was also a Ferris wheel, a carnival that used to come. My dad, we used to have a auto parts store, and those people would come from the carnival and say, "Hey, do you have a wrench or una banda or something to fix the the carnival rides?" And my dad would say, "Here, it's for the kids. It's okay. Here, you can have it. I'm not gonna charge you, whatever." So he would give a lot of the stuff to them, and they would bring rows and rows of tickets. Back in the day, it was tickets to ride the rides. And so my dad would have rows and rows of tickets that they would give us, and my dad would give them out to the kids. Here, go riding on the carnival. That was my dad, right? I remember him so well. Of course, like I said, he passed away when I was 10 years old. It was 2 weeks before my birthday, my 10th year birthday. So, I love my daddy so much. And so I always tell people out there, if you still have your father, hug them, love them. Now you have Facebook and you have lots of different videos. Take videos. I don't have any videos of my dad. I only have his pictures because that's all we had back in the day. And, my mom never videotaped even those really big, VHS videos. We don't have any of that. So, the only memory I have is up here and the wonderful things that he taught me. And I think that's where I get my compassion, my empathy is from my father, because now that I'm older, I now realize what he was doing and how I now resemble and do a lot of the things that he used to do in the past.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I know that
Hmm.
that's kind of hard, but
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. And sometimes that we need to do that to help others heal, to help others accept that. Um, I think, well, like I said, ha, Kenyelle, so funny. Did you see that?
Yes, I saw that.
For
How about
me,
you, Josh?
I think, and I want to hear from you. If you guys feel comfortable, write it in the chat. And if you're gonna see this later, I want to hear from you.
Yeah.
I think the best experience that I had with my father is my dad worked in Mexico, and he had to earn Mexican pesos to pay for an American mortgage and American grocery stores. So my dad had to work a lot because the peso has always been devalued a lot through the economy, especially in the 80s. You remember there was a big devaluation of the peso in the 80s. But my dad was a jack of all trades until he became a general manager in Juarez, the city across from El Paso. And he controlled 9 movie theaters. He was the general manager. And he would create in the Mexican newspaper, just like in old American papers, in the movies and the newspaper, like in this screen, this movie Star Wars, and this screen Jaws, and the times that they would
Mm-hmm.
play.
Mm-hmm.
Now computers would do that, AI would do that, but back then I would see my dad. He would create that. He would
What?
create the panels. He would create the panels. Melissa Jones Chunu from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Welcome for being here. Thank you very much. Happy Father's Day. Central Hicks, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. I'll write your names down. Um, and so I would see my dad there. And since my dad would work till the movies finished, and movies theaters finished like around 11 o'clock at night, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he would have to collect the money from the concession stands, and then he would have to wait for everyone to leave. So when I would go with him to work, we wouldn't get back home to El Paso till like 1 in the morning, because you would have to go over the bridge. The time on the bridge is not that much. It wasn't that much at that time in that long at that time in the morning. But it was I would see my dad work on that panel for the newspaper, and the way he would look at it and analyze it, and he would have like a little special blade to cut out stuff, and he would cut out like faces of famous movie stars, and he would create that, and the patience that he had, and I'm like, oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool. So I remember that him at work doing something that has nothing to do with work, but it enhanced his work. Does that make sense? Because
Mm-hmm.
his movie theaters were some of the most famous ones in the city at that time. And his promotion, which was a newspaper back in the Jurassic period, that's where people would read that. And so he would attract, and you would see the long lines, and that they had to do something um, to engage him. And another thing that I would see my dad do is just the work ethic. But you know what? Beyond that, the dude was a comedian. I did not pick any of that up whatsoever. I don't have that exactly. I don't have none of that.
I was gonna say what
No,
happened.
exactly. No, that's dead. Trust me, that was not at all part of my DNA. but I would see him, and he was a very calm guy, pleasant. He's a pleasant guy. He would be very respectful, but whenever he felt comfortable with you, he would start telling Mexican jokes, the
Oh.
the raunchy ones, all right, the raunchy ones. And I'm like, who is this man? I would be like, do a double take. Who is this man? And he would have people in stitches. He would truly be, and I'm like, wow, to me as a son, as a father now, I'm like, wow, there's certain things that I remember, certain interactions, and his hard work and dedication that I think um, helped me of who I am
Mm-hmm.
now. I hope that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense right there.
Yeah. How old were you when he passed?
It's part of my it's part of my trauma of life. uh, um, so I'm gonna have to pay all these people that look at this show for counseling fees. Well, you see, my dad got remarried, and that's part of my story. And he created a different family, and that family was not very hip on Josh Toar, and so
Oh.
at all. We have no interactions whatsoever. And his new wife, um, my dad was ill. My dad was very cirrhosis. My dad liked to party. And my dad, when he was very ill, there were some financial situations. We all know that. We've heard this before. We've all heard this
Mhm.
before. It's always money at the end that destroys families. It's
Yeah.
always money. I heard about that. It happened to me. And when some money stuff came up, my dad passed and they never told me when he died or where he's buried.
Are you
So,
serious?
right. Isn't that horrible? Right? Yeah,
Yes.
but well, what does Jesus Christ say? Turn the other cheek, right? I pray for my dad every opportunity that I have. But that's just those are the kind of things that as an adult, okay, as an adult, those are like punch in the throat kind of situations. Our
Yeah.
students go through this. That our scholars go through this. So I am more empathetic as life teaches me lessons, both the good way and not the good way. So I don't know, Moreno. I don't know when my dad passed. But it's what we got to go through in life. My favorite
Yeah.
memory of my dad is him taking me to Whataburger as a kid and ordering me a sausage BOB, a black coffee. Oh, it's so cool. Still my favorite order at Whataburger. I remember feeling so grown up. There you go, Kenya. The words are restricted. They're really restricted. In other words, there's only so many words that go. So when you post your comments, remember there's only so many characters that fit on the screen. Uh,
It's his daycare adventures. That's all it is.
okay.
That's the
Uh,
last of it.
oh, thank you, Kenya. Yeah, those are the kind of things we got to deal with. I remember taking my dad, taking us fishing. Melissa Jones Jr. and bringing them home and cleaning and gutting them. Oh, that's a good family experience right there.
Oh.
Very nice. Good. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you, Melissa Jones Jr. Thank you for sharing that. And let's see what other comment. Oh, wow. Thanks for your stories. Yeah, it is Constance. It's those trauma kind of things that makes us. I feel it makes us better educators.
Mm-hmm.
I do. You're still a human being and still have feelings, but you just hold on tight to your Lord and Savior and what He brings to you, and just hold on, cling on to that. All storms pass, and so just let's remember that. Moreno. Next question. What quality do you identify with that your dad had?
Empathy.
Okay.
Empathy. Again, the fact that, as I mentioned to you, the stories about him giving his stuff away. Again, the example I said earlier was, how if I have a necklace, or if I have some shades or something, I do that a lot in Africa. And when I'm going to other places, I always take items that I know are not coming back with me, because when people see it, especially in another country that they like, they're going to take it, they're going to say, oh, I like, and they're going to want it. And how are you going to take it away from them? But I just believe in my mom passed away just recently, about 4 years ago, and I had the opportunity to I had to clean out stuff, and how things go. And when both parents, I kind of seem like I'm the new mom, because right here on my desk, right next to me, I have all of my siblings' birth certificates and all my siblings' copies of everything, because my mom had a lot all of that, and now I inherited all of this now, and so now I have it all. But I share that because I found this box, and I was looking through this box of things. Inside there was a letter, and the letter was from my father to the it's not the social security, it's the whatever was homeland security back in the day, right? And so he had written a letter about this gentleman that he was working for, or that was working for my dad there in Chicago. My dad was a mechanic, and this gentleman there was looking for work or whatever, so my dad gave him a job. But in this letter, he was talking about this man and how he was writing to, I don't know, the Department of Homeland Security is what it's called today, but I forgot the name of it before. Where
I
he's
think it was
basically,
naturalization and immigration.
that's it, that's it. I remember that. Yes, yes, yes. I remember the title. It's at the very top of the letter. Anyways, the letter is basically saying that he's giving him, he's writing to him, and how he needs to be naturalized, and he needs to be, he's in support of him getting naturalized in this country because of the hard work and what he's doing, and blah blah blah. But here is a story, and here's my dad advocating for an immigrant who is here in this country, where he is trying to kind of help him get a better life, and I feel myself, that's exactly what I do now. And I didn't know where I got this from. I mean, yes, my mom was born in Mexico. She came to this country as a young girl and got naturalized and became a citizen. But my dad was born here in Texas. I didn't know that until I was looking for my dual citizenship with Mexico, because my mom I knew was from Mexico. So when I went to the consulate office, the Mexican consulate, and they said, I need your proof that one of your parents is Mexican. I said, yep, both of them are Mexican. Boy, was I so wrong, because again, I have all of everybody's birth certificates now with me. So now I was pulling out everybody's birth certificates. I realized my dad was actually born in La Blanca, Texas, close to Edinburgh in South Texas. I didn't know that until I started digging. So here's my dad, who was born in Texas. I was born in Texas, advocating for an immigrant, and I saw at least two or three letters similar to that. And going back to attributes that I now have, that's what I do, advocating for immigrants, going to other countries, learning from them, coming back, providing professional development, and just showing that empathy of how other people feel, and how we need to be able to empathize with what they struggle with. Because again, everybody needs to get along, know each other. And we talk about relationships so often. I mean, that's the number one thing. If you don't have a relationship with a student, as far as getting them to do better, you're constantly fighting with that kid, and you're never going to move him forward. So I think that is the number one. And now I can say I learned that from my dad, because I didn't know where I just thought God gave me this gift. But I mean, he did too, but my dad also had a big part of, and I know my dad probably is smiling at me now, saying, Mira, Mira, what I didn't do, she's doing it in a bigger scale.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Shika Houston. Hello, my sister from South Carolina. Enjoy your conference out there. Make sure you like and share. Like and share. Thank you very much, my sister, for being here. Do your conference. Yeah, Moreno, for me, it's going to be hard work, because you can't be 7 days a week, 24/7, 365, working in one country and coming back home to another country. Imagine every day going over the border back and forth, because we were
Yeah.
legal residents. We had our green card and we were legal residents. And so my dad was working back and forth. And to me, that's why, thank you, Shika, for the happy Father's Day.
Father's Day.
Um, it's hard for me to sit quiet, and my Lord and Savior says, "Don't be judgmental." But when people whine, when I have this
Mm,
man in a beat up 1975 Impala, Chevy Impala, going back and forth from one country to another country, earning in a currency that's devalued to pay American dollars, keep his kids in a pretty well off area of El Paso for what it was at that time, and it's still a well off area in the Burgess area. But it was that hard work, it was that dedication, because without his sweat off his brow, we would not be successful. And that's one of the things that, again, I'm not casting shade on anybody, I'm not casting dispersions on anybody, but my family didn't believe in taking in support from the government. It was not. My mom refused that, my dad refused it, and we're gonna work our behinds off to make sure that we prosper. And thanks to their hard work, their dedication, yours truly is here. So when I hear people saying, "Oh, because of this, oh, because of that," oh, I'm like, oh, okay. Because when you live people breaking their back, yeah, sacrifice, Shika. When you see your parents doing what others don't do, then it's one of those situations when you're like, oh, you're awestruck. And so I can't complain when I saw my dad do that kind of stuff. My dad cannot complain. I cannot complain when I saw my mom do the same thing, get her degree living in Juarez, going to UTEP in El Paso.
mm.
So, when you see that hard work and that ethic, the only person that has rivaled that ethic is Cafele. Because Cafele, when his airplane breaks down, he'll drive
Which
eight
right.
hours, 9 hours, he'll sleep with 30 minutes, and then he'll go on stage. I haven't seen
Yeah.
someone as dedicated as my dad. I finally saw Cafele do that, something similar to that. So I think it's the hard work and the dedication that is that I picked up from my dad. So whenever I feel that I'm tired, when I feel that I can't do anymore, nah, I got some more in me.
Yeah.
I'll just take out my closest energy drink and just keep on going, because you know what? My dad did it. I got a role model, because you know what? Your students and your own children are always looking at you. You think they're not,
Yes.
but they're always looking at you, especially how you're going to face adversity. Because how we face adversity, that's how our prodigy, if not our students, will react. And if we
Hmm.
put in that work, we put in that hard work, that dedication, I think we're going to keep on inspiring others by like
Absolutely.
Caffelli inspires so many people out there.
Hmm.
So let's get into the actual classroom there, Moreno. We got a couple more minutes. We got like 20 more minutes right there. Who is a male role model that you looked up to in education?
Oh, that's a simple one. I am who I am today because of Steve Amstutz.
Who is that?
Um, Steve Amstutz was a amazing, amazing principal. The longest um, the longest principal that was a principal at Robert E. Lee High School in Houston ISD. It was I was already an assistant principal at the time. I had already gotten promoted about 3 years before he actually arrived. But let me tell you, that man, when you talk about working hard, Josh, that man worked his tail off. He was a guy who he was never satisfied with the status quo. He would always say, "And why are we doing it that way?" Or why do we have to do it this other way? So I would have to tell you that Steve Absitz was one of those people always thinking out of the box, like what can we do something different? To the point that, I mean, think about this. I used to do the master schedule. I was already doing the master schedule when he came, and I know you get like when you say master schedule, because most people don't like that. I love doing master schedules. If you have any master schedule problems out there, call me, because I'm that guru. I love master schedules. So I remember I was a master scheduler. I was an assistant principal. This man shows up, and he came in thinking this school needs, it was 72 countries represented, speaking 42 languages. That's the high school that I kind of got my stripes from. I was a teacher there, and I became an assistant principal. And then this man shows up, and he came in saying, "Our children cannot be a number." This school had 3,000 kids. And so he said, we can't have kids that are numbers. They need personalization. They need good relationships with their teachers. They need those kinds of things. So he decided, and we went looking around at different models, and he decided we're going to create 10 small learning communities. 10 smaller, and each community has its own flavor. We had health and human services, we had law and justice, we had visual arts, we had sports medicine. I mean, we had 10. We had one that was a newcomer for brand new kids that are new to the country for 1 year, and then it would branch out to the other 9 small communities, right? And everything had its own little flavor. Their electives were generated around that belief. So if you're in law and justice, you had 4 years of law and justice electives. If you were, I was over the health and human services, and so all of my kids learned about medicine, and we had like internships at the different clinics and hospitals in Houston. So, anyways, trying to do a master schedule, 10 little baby ones within a large, because if you have calculus, we only have one section of calculus that you need to get all 10 small schools into that one calculus class. So that was a factor that I had to deal with. But he was so inspiring. I became a principal because of these small learning communities, because he made us, as an assistant principal, a principal of the small learning community. And he gave me a little budget, and he gave me a little money for professional development. I could do whatever I wanted to do with my little small 10 teachers that I had. And so I can't tell you how so valuable. It's so valuable as far as a new assistant principal going and becoming a principal. I kind of had a lot of stripes already because teachers would grieve me or they were not happy with me because I was in control, and he gave us that autonomy. So again, I shout out to him. I know he's going to probably see this on the rebroadcast because he normally sends me a little message saying, "Hey, kudos to you," or "I saw you this morning," or "I saw you," whatever. So Steve Amstutz, I'm telling you, and there's others. There's others that inspired me along the way, but who I am today and what principal I am today was because of him, and others just kind of added a little bit more meat to the plate. But I mean, it was him who really made me who I am. If not, I don't think I would have been a principal.
Perfect. Love that story. Who else inspired you? Dodd McKeever Jeter says, Principal Joseph Lee. Thank you for sharing that. Who else inspired you? Want to hear what other qualities did your daddy give you guys? What qualities did your daddy give you? Let's be interactive here in the show right now on Father's Day. Make sure you like and share, like and share. If not, give me 2 more followers. 2 more. Go to YouTube real quick. Go to YouTube. Just follow it. Give me 260. 260. That's all I'm asking for. For me, like you said, Moreno, there's a lot of people that have influenced you. And I'm going to select Lorenzo Mata. Lorenzo Mata was a principal at Eastwood High School. And he is the one they used to call Isleta District Mata ISD because that guy was so influential. He was so influential. He was a kingmaker. And he created, to me, one of the best compliments you could give, obviously, is creating future leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Taking care of your campus, but how many principals do you create? That truly is a sign of who you are as a leader. Principal that creates principals. And he created not only principals, but superintendents.
Wow.
And so he was whenever they started giving letter grades, Eastwood was the first A-rated campus in Region 19 in El Paso. And he was all friendly. He was the nicest guy out there. Because he knew he hired correctly. Does that make sense?
Oh
He
yeah.
hired right. He was just there. all in El Paso. I don't know about other parts. I know that in North Texas it's not very powerful, but in El Paso, the teacher associations are very powerful. They elect the board members in Region 19. Yeah, because they use their
To
money.
this day?
Yes. Oh, Region 19. People don't know in this area of Texas, North Texas, you don't know what it is to be against a powerful teacher association.
Wow.
And so they put their money behind board members and they elect them. And so yes, even today. And so a lot of the unions would want to have their members at his school. He wouldn't face organizational problems because it was such a well-run organization based on who he was as an individual, on his leadership style. So to me, Lorenzo Mata is one of those persons that his ripple effect of leadership has gone all the way down to myself. So I'm very, very honored and happy to always be part of his circle still. Whenever I am in El Paso, I call him out. People that have influenced me, I call them when I go back to El Paso. I break bread with them. It
Is
just
he
is
still practicing?
no,
He
no, no. He's out.
retired.
He's
He
oh no,
retired.
he's gone. No, I'm the old fart right now, left over from that generation. Um, but I pay my dues by just breaking bread with them and saying, you know what, take this as a token of my appreciation because without you, my family's not at this level. So who? It's one of those things. Who inspired you? Let's see what Kenyo Sessions says. Kenyo Sessions, my mentor's principal, Lee Roland. He was saw qualities in me that I never thought about, which led me to step into school leadership. He truly trained me to be who I am today and beyond. Nice. Thank you, Kenyo, for
Nice.
sharing that. I love it. I love it. Love it. Okay, let's go to the next
Gosh, I'm
quote.
gonna go ahead and break bread with Steve Amstutz. So if you're listening, Steve, call me when I get back from Africa. Though, call me. We'll break bread together. Be nice
So,
to get together.
Moreno, who did you have as a motivational coach? Either academic coach, a father figure, or a PE coach? Who? Which guy? Which cat?
So I'm gonna say for him, I'm gonna go with Dr. Dawson. Dr. Dawson was I remember he was one of those individuals that would say to me, Dr. Moreno, no one can see what's in your brain. You have to write it down because when you leave, you can't take you take the knowledge with you. You have to kind of keep it in your school. He was so I remember when he came to Las Americas and he said to me, God, you have such a gem here. I've never seen anything like this before. First of all, the diversity is through the roof. I wasn't just diverse, I was densely diverse is what I would describe it. I would have, 18 students in the classroom, or let's just say 20 kids in the classroom, and 18 different languages in there. So, it's like turn and talk wasn't a thing. It wasn't an option. So he would say to me, he goes, I've never seen anything like this before. So, he was my mentor. He was my immediate supervisor. And he would say to me, I'm here to support you and work with you. He goes, but man, it's hard for me to give you advice in an environment that I've never experienced for myself. And that to me was challenging for him because it made him think a little harder. Like, what do I tell her? Like, what do I say when I don't know how to work with this population where I would never been a principal in this type of situation. But what I learned from him was more than I could ever say because he would say to me, your school runs like a machine. There was a time I think my grandmother passed away or something like that, and I was actually gone for like 2 weeks. He said, the superintendent wants to come visit your school. I said, but I'm not there. What are you going to do? He goes, I don't know. You better tell your faculty because that's where the superintendent wants to go. So the superintendent didn't even realize I wasn't there because the oil machine, when you have a real good running school, it doesn't matter if you're there or not there, your school's going to run, right? So he said to me, he goes, Moreno, your school was working just like if you were there at the school. It was amazing. He goes, the only thing I would ask you to do is have something written down so that if anybody ever leaves or something, you can get back to this machine pretty quickly. without having to retrain everybody, because it's some kind of document. And because of him, I started kind of collecting and doing a lot of my um, documenting the things that I was doing, so that everything now was like in a playbook, a framework of how things are done. And we just added to that. And because of him, I now that I retired and I support other people, guess what? Sometimes I go into that because it's developing culture and developing systems and those things that I was kind of little check marks and little check things that we don't do anymore. But whenever you're struggling or you have that teacher that doesn't know what to do, easy to kind of give them something to start checking off.
Perfect, perfect. Todd McKeever Cheater, your dad's stories on how to change tires and paneling. Love it, love it. Constant Sherrard, your SCA sponsored, encouraging me to become more active in the organization as an athlete. Love it, enjoy playing sports, but also having the opportunity to fellowship with multiple races and learn about God. Amen, sister. Amen. Thank you for sharing that.
Hmm.
I think that the person, when I asked that question to all our guests in the past, is who or what influenced you? For me, I never, in high school, middle school, or elementary, I never had no teacher connected with me. No, nobody. I never had one. Um, Not even, I took till college to find somebody that I was able to say, okay, and that's a person. At Sul State University, where I got my master's, Kip Sullivan. Kip Sullivan. He was one of our facilitators, and he was the guy. What I mean by that, he's like that. Oh, you got Sullivan. He's on your schedule. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
He was that guy right there. He was the guy that believed 100% in moving cheese. He believed in perfect punctuation. He believed in timestamps. At the end of it was a weekend class, so we would drive to Alpine, Texas from El Paso, which was like 3.5 hours every weekend. We would be there on the weekend and drive back, and we would have to turn in a reflection for that week. And you had till a specific time to turn it in, and if you didn't turn it in on time, check minus. I think if I remember, that's what it was. You
Yes.
did not want to freaking check minus, all right? And every time you would walk in, you could not sit in the same place. You could not sit in it. You had to sit somewhere different. Even if it was a chair over, you couldn't be like at church. That's my pew. You could not be in the same place. And so during that time, I was part of those that like, I don't like that guy. I got you. I feel it. But now one of the best coaches that taught me was him. He taught me
Hmm.
by using these things that now that I have the chair, even as an assistant principal, oh, I get it. I understand about the importance of turning in your stuff on time to central office.
Mhm.
Oh,
Mhm.
I about doing special ed meetings on time. Oh, I understand that you're gonna be working with different groups when you become an assistant principal at a high school. You're gonna be working with different people in different spots at
Yeah,
different times.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he made it was like Mr. Miyagi. Why am I painting the fence? Why am I waxing your car? Why am I scrubbing the desk? Why am I wax on, wax off? Because I'm teaching you how to fight. And that was Kip Sullivan for me.
And it sometimes it was hard to connect those, right? It was like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this kind of thing?
Right.
But then you saw the connection later.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So Kip Sullivan, I know that he's no longer with us, but you know what? Your influence is still being felt through your actions via me. And then let me see who, and this is the last question. Make sure you like and share, like and share, like and share. I want 2 more followers on YouTube. Like and share. Out of all the schools you've been at, Moreno, and fans watching on the show or in the rebroadcast, let's send some flowers. Who was that father figure? Every campus has a father figure. They have that go-to guy for advice. Who did you have on a campus, whether you as a teacher, you as a principal, you as an assistant principal? Who was that father figure, and why were they a father figure?
The person I can probably tell you who my father figure was. He was a police officer that he would come to my campus. He was a gang officer, but he kind of resembled a little bit like my dad. Black hair, the little bigote, kind of thing. Real chuntaro is like as I would call it.
Moreno, people don't know what a bigote is. Do you think Constant Sherrard knows what a bigote is? You gotta tell them also in English.
Wait a minute, but this is a PGP party.
I
I can
know,
speak
but you gotta help out
Spanish.
Constance and Dot McGeever Jeter. Tell them what a bigote is.
A bigote is a mustache.
Thank
And it was
you.
a black, thick mustache. And chuntaro. Okay, help me with chuntaro.
You gotta help
I
me
know
with
what
you
a
gotta.
chuntaro is. I know what a chuntaro is, but I don't know how do you say it in English. It's kind of
I
like
don't
ganas.
exactly.
It's like ganas. How do you? I don't know. How do you? It's not. It's not.
Hey, Nebraska, we're sorry. We're gonna keep on going. We're not gonna stop on this. This is the last question. All right, it's the last question before I drive to Austin to conference.
That's
So
okay.
keep on
That's
going,
okay.
Moreno. All right, Chuntaro.
So he's very like chuntaro, very kind of Mexican, like look Mexican. Anyways,
Oh,
but
you're
yeah, he reminded me
stereotyping
so
now,
much.
Moreno. You're stereotyping now, man.
But I like Chuntaro. He reminded me so much of my dad, of the way he carried himself, the way he did, and because he was a little older, he would always kind of have those beliefs and those of the old times. I don't have my parents anymore, so I kind of miss that. I kind of miss the well back in the day and those kinds of things. Everything is now Facebook and whatever ChatGPT tells you.
Right, right.
But yeah, I'm gonna send flowers to my former police officer, gang officer out there, who always was able to kind of bring me back to my roots and help me understand the importance of different things, and just made me feel like very special, like my dad would make me feel. So shout out to him, and I don't know where he's at anymore, but hopefully he's out there still doing wonderful things.
Yes, Kenyo, that's exactly how I learned when I came to this country. Americanisms. That's how I learned that bless your heart is not a good thing. You learn by having it in the conversation. So now guys know Chuntaro right there and
Chuntaro.
bigote there. Thanks to Dr. Mari Moreno. You know what, Moreno? Like I've said before, this is like my 13th school, 13th work environment, and so I've been around a lot of people. The one that stands out right now, and there's been quite a few that, the go-to person that's been there, the stalwart on a campus, and more often than not, the stalwart on the campus is not a good voice sometimes. All right, the stalwart that I wanted to mention is Michael Bezemek from Socorro High School. He is that individual that's very stoic, can be a little bit dry, but that's who he is.
Mm-hmm.
But then he'll throw humor at you, and then you're like, where did that come from? And he's also the head tennis coach in a lower valley school. Guys, Hispanics don't play tennis. We're not known for tennis, and it's hard for that guy to create an ongoing product in a lower valley school. So imagine all the schools that are known for volleyball and tennis have a common denominator. The valley schools in El Paso don't have that. They're all 5'2" Hispanic girls playing volleyball, and same thing with tennis. All right, so we're not known for tennis in the lower, and it's not Lower Valley. I know you know it as RGV, but he inspires those students to play with ganas. He inspires those students to compete. He'll get kids from the hallway, and he'll say, "Hey, you, what's your name? Moreno? You got some muscle. Come here. You want to play tennis?" He'll go to them. He'll go
Mm.
to them, and they look at him like, "¿Es que estás loco? ¿Cómo que tennis? What do you mean tennis?" and he'll
What
convince
is that?
him. He'll convince him to play 6A. If you don't know in Mississippi, if you don't know in Illinois, 6A is the biggest division in athletics. And you know that when these babies go and compete at that level, a lot of times they don't have a chance,
They're
but
slaughtered.
that they're willing to put on the uniform for that guy, that adults on that campus go to him for advice, that speaks volumes.
Mm-hmm.
That is a true father figure, that when people believe in you, that they're willing to put on a uniform and you've never picked up a racket before, that they're willing to go tell you whatever situation's out there that's affecting them in a negative light. That, my friend, that is a great role model, and that's a great father figure.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have? Any shout outs? Any shout outs you got to give there, Moreno? What do you got? What do you got to give? Anything?
Other than I told you, Josh, and I've been telling people, I've been dropping Easter eggs. So if you follow me on Newcomer Success on all my platforms, I've been leaving little Easter eggs. I'm learning from Taylor Swift. Um, dropping little Easter eggs. So I've been doing hashtag global empathy, global empathy X, Y, and Z. My book is coming out very soon. I'm in the last parts. Josh, if I can ever, I'm putting you on the spot, sir. If Josh can ever finish reading my book, my manuscript, I have 10 readers right now. Josh is one of 10. I had to have 10 because sometimes, they just drop out like that. So I have 10 readers, 2 from each category, a non-educator, an educator, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so I have 10 different readers right now and giving me feedback, but I'm looking forward. I'm hoping when I get back from Tanzania, I leave in 9 days. And so I'll be working in Tanzania for a month. When I come back late July, early August, I will get all the feedback together and get ready with the publishing piece. And so super excited. I'm working with someone who's going to help me do all of this. So God, Josh, it's going to be a fantastic coming year. The 26-27 school year is going to be amazing. And sir, I'm going to be right along your coattails as you continue to write your books and contributing your books. I'm going to do the same thing, sir.
Love it. Awesome. There you go. Big shout out from Constance Sherrard from Mississippi to Moreno to keep on pushing ahead. Well, thank you everybody for being on the show on the Father's Day. I knew that we might not have a big buy-in because people are right now barbecuing. People are watching the World Cup. Shouts out to the Europeans, the Asians, the South Americans, everybody seeing what America is all about. Look at all those viral videos. They learned about HEB. They learned about American portions. They learned about Costco. They learned, and they're bringing in their music, their spirit. Hey, whenever you put down this beautiful country, don't forget what beautiful country it is. And we're seeing it through the eyes of other people from other countries. Don't ever forget that we live in a beautiful environment that we can only make better by making sure that our scholars take in all the beauty that's around them, this beautiful culture, this beautiful land that can go, you in one state, you go from snowing to water at the beach, you could go desert, you could go rock, everything in this country you can do, every single last thing, and people from all over the world are noticing and acknowledging the greatness that is this beautiful country. I love seeing all those videos. Join us next week. Oh my God, Moreno, I even forgot what next week is. Next week, more than just an assistant principal. 2 more authors from Robert Hinchcliffe will be coming in and promoting that great book that Melissa Jones Chunu was on a couple of weeks ago. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And the winner of the cap is Kanyol Sessions. You will be getting that cap and that other thing that I promised you. Thank you very much for putting in. And give me 2 more followers. I need 2 more followers to have 260. Yes, we're breaking all numbers across YouTube with 260. Thank you for being here. Join us next week, 5 p.m. Central. I'll be heading over there to Dallas at the state conference. Peace.